summer workout so far? Just what are your...
I was just, as I was just saying to you guys, we get 4 hours with these guys, and then the weight room gets 4 hours, so we get 8 hours. It's not like a huge amount of time, but it's enough. We've been doing 2 hours of team and 2 hours individual stuff. So I like, in the individuals, you can see the improvement on guys, and then with some of the younger guys, you can see the improvement as the weeks go by. But it's been a great group. Cliff is working and playing at a high level, and obviously Paul is, at a high level. The veteran guys have come back better, and then the newcomers have been really good, like picking up stuff. You saw like a lot of our, I call them our vitamins every day, defensive vitamins, our standards, jumping direction of the ball, and all the different things that we do defensively. So those guys have come too. So, it's been a great group, really to work with, and it's, summers. They're catching their breath a little bit, but they're also taking classes, and they're also spending time in the weight room, and then they come back. Like this group is, whatever time you pop into, Cliff is early morning guy, so you'll see him in the mornings. Mawat's been here in the morning and at night. Cam Spencer's been a really good addition because he's in the gym a lot. Antoine and Derek are, figuring out, and we just got Antonio coming too, so he'll hopefully be here soon too. So it gives him a chance to get a really good feel. It gives us a chance to try some different things and learn a lot about, our team. And it's been a good group, and we got a good balance of the veteran guys that've been around, and the newcomers bringing some great energy. So that's been fun for us. Yeah, I think we got a good group, of guys anyways, and we got some older guys too. Andre Hyatt's been around college basketball for a long time. Cliff now, obviously, Caleb's not here right now, but Caleb is obviously a guy that's going to come back with a tremendous amount of experience. But Cam's been a player too in the Patriot League, 20 points a game. He's been around too. So Dean's played a lot of minutes. Mawat has been here for a while. Oscar's been here for a while. So got a good blend. And you're going to miss some things with Gio and Ron, obviously, but I think we'll be a little bit different. We'll be different defensively. We'll be different offensively in some ways too. So I'm excited about that. I was thankful Ron came back last year because he had good feedback from the NBA, last year. So thankful we had those guys. Obviously, Gio got an extra year, with the COVID. So, but knew all along we, got to get ready to replace guys just as we're going to this year when Caleb leaves and what have you. But, Jalen Miller's been another guy that's come back better and stuff. So, this offseason has been good for us. It's been good for me to figure it out. Thankful my staff has returned. These guys are great, working with the guys. But, obviously I'm excited about, this group. Anytime you get the leading dunker in the country back, you get the leading assist guy in the best league in the country, and then you get the best defender in the best league in the country, you feel pretty good about your team.
What's it like watching Cliff develop to his level, Steve?
Yeah, you see him shooting the ball today too at the end. He's awesome. He's one of the most coachable kids, but very driven basketball-wise. Like spends a lot of time here, and his teammates love him. So he's got a great personality for your team too. We're going to expect a lot of him this year. He's going to have to play more minutes. He became almost a double-double guy every night. He's got to get to that point where he's a double-double guy every night, and I know he can do that. And, it's just been fun. He's been a fun guy, and he's improved as much as anybody in his 2 years.
When you look at his maturation and his development, do you see a little bit of Jameel in him?
He's different than Jameel in a lot of ways, but he's in the gym a lot. And anytime you put what he puts into basketball, his body and how he eats right and all the things he does, it's been fun. And this year he'll take on a new dimension because I'm going to let him shoot the ball. He can really shoot the ball. Even last year I was encouraging him to shoot the ball. He got to the point where, he's going to be a tough guy to match up with in this league, the way he runs and the way he's committed to, improving his game. Like I just see him, his ceiling is so high. Jameel at 6'7" was just, grounded a little bit. This kid is above the rim kind of guy, and a guy that can really, take on a lot. So it's going to be a great year for him, and he's looking forward to it. So,
what's the acclimation been like for Derek, and what's he bringing to the table?
Yeah, I mean, he's so athletic. He's one of the most athletic guards we've had, I think, since Corey Sanders. You know, he's above the rim. He shoots the ball, you know, effortlessly, has a good feel for the game. Now he's just kind of learning our defenses and the things that we want him to do. But, I mean, his ceiling is tremendous. And he's been very coachable, which I really like, you know. And so he and his roommate, Antoine, are and really, they're good additions to us. And Antoine's going to be really good too. He's a very interesting player. He can really score. He can really handle the ball around the basket. He's defensively, he's picked up stuff really quickly. Yeah, he's as good a screen coverage guy as we've had, and that includes our veteran guys already. So yeah, excited about those newcomers.
Steve, I wanted to ask you about transfer Cam Spencer. Obviously, did you just see him in the portal and it was like you saw the tape, that was it, I want him? Or
Yeah, I mean, you know, the portal every day is popping up names. I'm very selective too. You know, I felt like we needed, a real need for shooting the ball, and I knew he could do that at the highest level. You know, I watched the North Carolina games. I watched the games where he played, you know, against the up teams, and he was very productive. But then the more film I watched, the more I really liked him. Then I got him on the phone, and, you know, awesome family, real competitive, you know, really good people, good student, a team guy, come in once asking for A, B, and C, just wants an opportunity to play at this level. It's really excited how he's blended in with the team. And, you know, so I just watched a lot of film after his name popped up. Then we started making some phone calls, and we're very fortunate to get him up here on a visit. I remember his brother a lot from Northwestern, real competitive. Now he's in the G League. He just, you know, after not playing basketball for 4 years in college and then being in the G League after 1 year at Northwestern is a pretty good leap. So excited about what he brings. He's mature. He knows how to play. Can shoot the basketball. His body's real physical. He's 218. He's got good size. You know, he shoots free throws at a high percentage. You know, so you know, watch the film, talk to him on the phone, liked him more in our conversations, and you know, very selective in the portal. You know, I thought we needed that, and he's come in and given us that. So excited about it. And we get him for 2 years, which I think is really exciting.
What do you feel like Dean is development? Kind of what do you see?
Yeah, Dean's good. Yeah, Dean's good. You saw last year, you know, his minutes, it was hard. You know, Ron and Cliff playing as many minutes as possible, but you saw him as the year went on doing more and more. He's a really good three-point shooter. He's continued to work on his body, and he's athletic. He can put the ball down. You know, he's exciting, you know, and he's getting better and better. He's had a good summer, you know, so he's going to help us a great deal this year. And he's going to get more of an opportunity. Obviously, when guys graduate, other guys get opportunities, and you know, I feel very confident he and Mawat are going to, you know, have really good years.
You talked about expanding his ball handling, Dean did. How much more do you see him as maybe a bit of a two-way player that can go inside as well as be the pick and pop guy that he was toward the end last year?
Yeah, I mean, he could do all that, you know. He can guard threes too, so his versatility excites me. I can play him a lot of different ways. You can go from having Cliff, where he's an above-the-rim guy, to having Dean, where he's going to shoot threes from way deep when you move him around, and he's going to play the 4 spot too now that Ron's, you know, Ron opens up a lot of minutes at that position too. So I like the versatility of Andre, Oscar, Dean, Mawat, you know. I like our depth. Last year, you know, I tended to, you know, those guys, I didn't want to take Paul out. I didn't want to take Caleb out. We played such close games too. There wasn't a lot of minutes to give those guys, but I've always liked those guys, and now they're going to get, you know, that opportunity. Dean is one of those guys, and he'll take advantage of it. I think we'll see him doing different things.
Sorry, you mentioned Antonio. Just to be clear, he signed an official, and
Yeah.
what's the plan for him?
Oh, excited about him. Excited he's here. I mean, you get another big time shooter. He's 6'8". Reminds me a lot of Kwasi Yeboah. He's a high energy guy. You know, yeah, whenever you can bring in those high-flying, high-energy guy can really shoot the basketball kind of guys, you're excited about it. So looking forward to getting him here as soon as we can.
He's enrolling in September, that's
Yes.
the plan?
Steve, you mentioned Mag with the big men. Is it possible we could, I know it's positionless basketball, but is it possible we could see him as like a small ball 5 type thing?
Yeah, I mean, anything's possible. You know, and he's tough enough, certainly, you know, to guard those kind of guys. But I certainly don't want him in the matchup with Zach Edey and him, but it depends on the game. It depends on that. He's certainly tough enough, and we got enough guys. We can put a whole team of 6'7", 6'8" guys out on the floor, and that's becoming more college and pros. What those guys are kind of looking for too. But this group gives me more versatility. They really do, and he can point guard to 4s and 5s anyway. So defensively, his versatility is good too. So. We'll see what the games bring. I mean, every game in our league is different. I always say that to you guys. It's not a regular league, so it's a league where you got to have that kind of versatility with your lineup. And Mawat's had a great offseason. So is, Jalen Miller is an elite defender, so we'll have a chance and he can guard multiple positions too. So we'll have a chance to put a Caleb and Mawat and Jalen Miller lineup with Cliff and Paul and, really guard people and change things up a little bit too. So this lineup is, the depth on this team and the versatility with our depth is really good.
Jalen got up pretty high to block Paul's shot there. He was way up.
Yeah, he's had a good, he's a worker. He's a great kid. He's a high energy.
It seems like his teammates really like him too.
Yeah, he does. He's good leadership qualities and stuff, and he's improved. He's shooting the ball better, and just that year helps you. I remember he was a kid that was going to redshirt last year, and he came to me and said, "No, I don't want." Thank God he did, because he helped us. He helped us a lot. Now, with a year under his belt, and with he's a tough guy to go by. And that's why I like what Paul's up against, because whenever a guy's up against Jalen and Caleb, they're as good a defenders are there. And if you could score against those guys, it's a good sign for you and stuff.
I always find it interesting how you pair the one-on-ones. They change, obviously.
You know what? Even the summer though, I kind of I don't pair him as much. I kind of let them he wanted Paul. He knows he's, or he may want Derek. Something
Right.
So sometimes I pair them and script it a little bit. Other times I just like to say who takes on who.
Was today one of those more organic days where they just kind of paired each other up?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, they kind of did that. So it's interesting some days. And I in the summertime, it's a good time for me to watch and say who wants to take on the challenge of guarding this guy and that guy.
That's interesting. Good point.
Kind of
Thanks.
interesting.
A couple more for Coach, and then we're going to go into the film room and have that deal.
You can talk about anything.
So with the loss of Monty, of course, you're losing two big leaders in the locker room. Where does Paul fit now in that picture? It's kind of the elder statesman.
You know what? It's Paul's always been a leader. So I don't think, even with those guys here, I think Caleb's been a really good leader. Caleb and Paul in the gym and care as much as any player we've ever had here. So those guys were voices, last year. So and probably at times more so than Gio and stuff. Their voices were really heard. Ron's personality is already missed. He's a funny and that kind of thing. But we got other guys too. They'll start stepping up. But we have good leadership. Those guys have logged a lot of minutes, and those guys would be good too. And then we got other guys like Mawat's ready and respected by his teammates, and so was Cam. They would really like him. He's really blended in nicely, and Derek and Antoine have blended in nicely too. So it's the next guy's opportunity, and that's what happens. College, unfortunately, you can't keep guys for 100 years. I know they're leaving, and you hate to. I could have gone 6 more years with Gio, but I got 5. That was a good turnout for us, and knew he was leaving, and thankful that all these guys have come back too. That's part of what you have to figure out now with college basketball. It's not just grab guys in the portal. As you see, most teams in the country, they grab a guy in the portal, and the next day two names are in the portal. So it's not like the pros where the rest of them are on contracts and they're staying no matter what. You take a kid from the portal, and it makes people wonder where they are with your program and stuff. And so you have to navigate that. So I knew those guys were leaving, happy with the leadership that Paul brings and Caleb's going to bring and Cliff's going to bring. So I think we'll be good in that area.
Along those lines, can you put a value on how much it means to have Caleb back after the year that he had last year, and then with Ron and Gio leaving, just having more experience coming back to you?
Yeah, I like the experience we have coming back, including Dean has been here a couple of years. Watt's been here a couple of years. Now they're going to get their opportunities too. So to have those guys back is great. Whenever you bring, I think he's the best defender in the country. So you bring Caleb back, who's played in a lot of big games and helped this program win a lot of games. So when you get those guys to come back, he's going to have a great year. He works so hard, and he's going to come back on a mission. He had a bunch of workouts with the NBA teams, and I think he's going to come back even better. And he's going to have more opportunities too. You saw him score big against Notre Dame. He can score too. The problem is you can't have 100 guys taking. Ron was taking most shots, and then you can't. Those guys now get opportunities to that they didn't get last year too. So excited about returning a guy that's a team guy, that's the best defender I think in the country. And I return it.
Coach, for players like your freshman and Cam Spencer's, how do you prepare them for the gauntlet of the Big Ten schedule?
I mean, you really start. I talked to them already about their bodies and about taking care of their bodies. I mean, the league is so physical, and that's what you worry about the most. I think Gio's going to spend some time too talking to Derek about his freshman year and how having extra weight and fighting through screens and those kind of things. So you try to utilize your resources to explain to these guys, but you got to live through some of it too. You got to live and learn, and you hope your veteran guys are talking to your younger guys about the rigors of this league and preparation and how hard it is to fight through a screen that Kofi Coburn sets as opposed to the high school kid that's 6'1". So there's a big difference with that stuff. But, they've been really coachable to date, so you hope that they continue to be good listeners and be coachable.
Steve, you managed to retain your entire coaching staff once again, on a feat unheard of in today's world. How important is that, not only on the recruiting trail, but for player development as well?
I mean, I'm excited that they're all back. They're really good. They all had opportunities, every single one of them, to go someplace and either be an assistant or be a head coach somewhere. And continuity is really important. So to have them all back, Brandon Knight's awesome. I mean, Carl is Hall of Fame assistant coach in Hall of Fame. He won 2 national championships. TJ's been awesome. Guys love him. He's a really good development guy. But even have Mike Larkin and Tom and Steve Haynes, have all those guys, back, is important, and they're good at what they do. So I'm thankful. That's Pat Hobbs too. Like, that's not just me, because those guys all had opportunities to go do other things, and they decided to stay. So Pat's commitment is second to none, and we want to keep this program at a high level. And part of how you do that is to keep your staff, but also I want guys to leave here and become head coaches. So that helps development of your program too. So that helps you get the next great assistant coach. Once they know that Jay Young could leave here and become the head coach at Fairfield, and Brandon Knight could leave here and become the head coach of wherever, it helps you bring in other guys too. So if that day comes where they go, I'm excited about it, and I'm excited that people on the outside want coaches from Rutgers. It used to be the place where coaches came to leave, and now they stay. And it used to be where coaches come to get fired, and now I'm going into year 7, so that's not the narrative anymore either. So, I'm excited that has changed, and I've been able to keep my staff and keep my players. We're only one of 8 programs, I think, in the country that didn't have a guy in the portal this year, and that means they all feel valued, and they're all very important, and so that's a really good sign too moving forward.